Hello boys and girls and welcome to the 2006 UAW-Daimler-Chrysler 400 here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. After Jeff Burton tore through Hollywood last week, the tour hopes to play their cards right and end up in victory lane here in Las Vegas. But now, let's take a look at your starting lineup. On the pole for today's race is Andy Houston looking for his first win of the season. Can he get it done today? Alongside last week's pole winner and outside pole sitter today, rookie Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick starts third with Casey Kane in the Dodge dealer's Dodge to his outside. Brian Vickers starts fifth after a miserable run last week. Looks to turn it around today. And Greg Biffle starts sixth. Row 4 contains Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson. Rounding out your top 10 is Jeff Green and Casey Atwood in the Cascadian Farm Organic Dodge. Dale Jr. with a new look in that Budweiser scheme, alongside Kyle Busch, who had a surprise run last week. Ward Burton starts 13th in the number 4 car. He had a strong qualifying run. He hopes to keep it up there for the race. And alongside him is Jamie McMurray. Jeff Gordon starts 15th alongside Mike Bliss. Dave Blaney starts 17th with Ken Schrader to his outside. Rookie Danny O'Quinn starts 19th with Jeremy Mayfield starting 20th. Michael Waltrip in the Bill Davis Dodge starts 21st with Dale Jarrett to his outside. Kyle Petty for Petty Enterprises starts 23rd with Scott Riggs to his outside, who had a surprise top 20 run, last week. Mired back in the field here is Jeff Burton, who starts 25th with Elliott Sadler starting to his outside in 26th. Matt Kenseth, who had a strong top 5 run last week, starts alongside Casey Mears, who had a strong top 10 run last week. Robbie Gordon in the Hurrah Chevy for his own racing team. That Chevy logo is messed up. Alongside Carl Edwards, who also had a strong top 10 run last week. Joe Nemechek starts 31st with Martin Truex Jr. to his outside, who had a surprise top 15 run after starting 35th last week. The Tony Stewart did not have a good qualifying. He's mired back with Clint Bowyer to his outside. Reed Sorensen starts 35th with Tony Raines to his outside. Travis Quapple and Sterling Marlin make up row 19. Bobby Labonte again with an abysmal qualifying run in that Interstate Battery Chevy in row 20. Next to him is Ryan Newman. And rounding out the field is Brent Sherman in the BAM Racing Dodge with Chad Chaffin in the Taco Bell. There's no logos on that car. In the Taco Bell Front Row Motorsports car, starting dead last. Now let's get the command to fire engines.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
As the cars come to life, the crowd roars as well, getting ready to see one of the more popular races on the schedule, believe it or not. This race always comes down to most of the time actually, comes down to fuel mileage. Someone always tries to stretch it as far as they can go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Will it happen today? Probably. We'll see. 42 cars round the corner. Andy Houston on the pole. And the green flag is out. We're racing in Las Vegas. Look at that, already 3 wide in the turn 1. Houston cuts off Harvick. He's going to try and keep the lead here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Denny Hamlin to his outside makes the move into turn 1. Will Andy Houston even lead the first lap? Doesn't look good so far. Doesn't look good. No. Rookie Denny Hamlin is going to lead lap 1, and it kind of looks like the same song second verse from what we saw last week where Denny Hamlin got out front and was able to pull away. Harvick now to the bottom. Andy Houston has been relegated back to 3rd place with Casey Kane in 4th. Greg Biffle making a move underneath Brian Vickers for 5th. And you see the 2 Hendrick teammates of Brian Vickers and Jimmy Johnson up there. Jimmy Johnson ditches him, says, "Never mind, here I go underneath you." Denny Hamlin had such a strong car last week. It shocked me when he didn't win, when Burton passed him and was able to win. But that's the way racing goes. The fastest car isn't always going to win. If that were true, you'd think the guy from the pole would win every time. You see back there, Jeff Gordon has already made some nice moves to get up to the front here. You see the outside of Jamie McMurray looking to get past him and then set sail for Casey Atwood. Casey has been a very underrated driver the past couple of years. No one really talks about him. He's gotten top 25 in points consistently. That's something this team couldn't do since Petty was driving. So, it goes to show maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the equipment. He's been driving the heck out of it, I'll tell you that much. A lot of good runs for this team, and he looks to make even better ones. And maybe get top 10s and top 15s with the team as he runs 12th currently, under fire from Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon sends it around the outside. He and his teammate Kyle Busch battling right here. You see all 4 of the Hendrick cars. There's Johnson coming off turn 4, then Vickers behind him, then Gordon, and Brian Vickers. No, I already said Brian Vickers. Wait, where's the other one? Kyle Busch, that's who it is. That's right. Gordon fighting him. They're battling just outside the top 10. As you see, most everyone's single file currently. Harvick got around Andy Houston for 2nd, and he looks to pass Denny Hamlin. All right, the camera's doing something weird there. We'll ignore that. Dale Jr. looking to make a move on Casey Kane. Go to the outside, maybe cross him over, head down to the bottom in turn 3. Remember last week, you couldn't pass on the bottom to save your life. Unless you were Jeff Burton, who made that one pass on Jimmy Johnson. But the way you had to pass him was go 1 lane higher, go around the outside, or just pass him on pit road. Let your guys do the work for you and get you out front like Jeff Burton did to get to the lead and never look back. Junior pinched their way down low, going off the corner. I'm not really sure what that's about. You see Greg Biffle up in the 6th, Brian Vickers 7th. 7th and 8th. See, most of these guys have gotten single file. You have to go all the way back to, I believe it was Danny O'Quinn. Yes, Dale Jarrett, Mike Bliss, Scott Riggs, Jeff Burton making moves up to the front. Remember, Jeff Burton started way back in the field after winning last week. We'll see if he'll be able to make his way through. So far, he has position 20 after 9 laps, making some strong headway. Tony Stewart also started far back. He's up into the top 25. So he's also making up some good ground, rather. You see, no one's really fallen off the pack. I mean, they're all like single file and whatnot. But like, these guys are still all battling each other. These guys are single file. Chad Chaffin's the only one that's really fallen off, per se. But anyways, we have a battle for the lead. Harvick looking underneath Denny Hamlin. Hamlin gets there. Did somebody hit the wall back there? I think Andy or somebody hit the wall. That was really strange. Casey Kane makes a move underneath Andy Houston. 2 Dodges battling it out for third. It's 2 Chevys, a pair of Dodges, and then a pair of 2 more Chevys. Battling it out for the top 6 spots. Junior making a move underneath Andy Houston for fourth. Harvick looks to try and get a nice run on Denny Hamlin for the lead. These 6 have broken away. It's looking a lot like last week where Hamlin, Harvick, Houston and Johnson were up in the mix last week, but they also had Gordon and Burton and Kenseth. This week, they're replaced by Kane and Junebug. Greg Biffle looking to make moves, make up some ground, try and get up to them. See Brian Vickers, Jeff Green, Jeff Gordon has gotten around all these guys. Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch are battling with Kyle Busch right in front of them, or behind them. Gordon almost got underneath Jeff Green. These guys are all at the back of the top 10. Kurt, Kyle, and Kenseth are 11th through 13th, with Casey Atwood and McMurray. And Danny O'Quinn, actually. Mark Martin's replacement after he retired last year. He's making a strong showing for himself as we've got an interesting battle here going on. Harvick, Kane to the inside of Harvick for second. Hamlin's pulled away. Junior down to the bottom. Johnson underneath Atwood. And Kane looks to try and maybe pull away, but Junior's just right there. They all get single file now as Andy Houston gets pushed out of the top 5. Falls back to 6th. All this battling is allowing Greg Biffle to catch up just a little bit, little by little. But it all adds up in the end. Harvick really pushed there in the center of the corner. I don't know, that's kind of weird. As you see, we got 4-car battle. Kenseth caught these 3. Gordon sending it around the outside, licking the stamp, hauling the mail, whatever you want to call it. Nothing came of it. But that's okay. You know, it's still real early in this race. I mean, you still got to make 1 or 2 pit stops. I mean, you got to be crazy to make 1 pit stop, but you can still make 1 pit stop nonetheless. Junior got to run all these guys, and he sucked right up to Denny Hamlin. Now he's right on his back bumper. He's going to try and go for the lead. Junior has a longer run car, it seems, as we are on lap 18. Oh, is he going to try and move Denny? That's a little early for moving people, but, you know, whatever you want to do. He just can't seem to get right up to his back bumper. Whoa! Wow, that was close. It's right on board with Dale Jr. here. See, he's got the center figured out pretty well. That car rotates pretty well compared to Denny Hamlin. Hamlin pushed up quite a bit there. That'll open the door for Dale Jr., but doesn't seem like he'll be able to get there. Man, he's really trying to get in there. There's not room. Now there is. He pushes Hamlin up the track just a bit, forces the rookie out of the way, and we got a battle for the lead on our hands. Hamlin leads that lap. Junior to the bottom. Hamlin backs out of it, clears him. Dale Jr. to the lead in Las Vegas. Remember, Dale Jr. has not won in 38 8 races now. This will be 39 if he does not win today. He hasn't won since Homestead 2004. So he'll be looking to make a strong run towards the championship this year, and it could start today. There's still a lot of laps left, so we'll see what happens. You see Kenseth and Biffle, 2 Roush teammates back there fighting, then 2 Hendrick teammates back there fighting for positions on the fringe of the top 10 here. Gordon got a nice run through the center of the corner. He'll try and turn it down underneath Vickers. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now it does, as Gordon has the confidence to put that thing right in there. Take that as he will, as Tony Stewart has made up a lot of ground. You see all those cars back there that he has, in fact, passed. He's now up to the 14th spot, looking to set his sights on Kyle Busch and the rest of this field as Gordon has the job done on Brian Vickers. Jeff Green going to follow through with the move. Can he make it stick like Gordon could? Vickers has a run around the top. He's going to fall back in line. Biffle and Kenseth, short-lived battle there. Junior is really pulled away. They got a strong car today. Casey Kane, the first Dodge. Matt Kenseth, the first Ford. Looks like it's going to be a battle for second today, as Dale Jr. has just checked out of the hotel. No one's going to catch him, it seems. Now, another interesting story is Kevin Harvick here. Now, he hasn't won in almost 2 years. His last win came at Bristol 2004. So RCR has not been very strong in the recent years. Harvick swept the road courses in 03 and then won Bristol 04 and has gone winless in almost 2 years. And then, obviously Jeff Burton, as we talked about plenty last week, hadn't won since Dover 02 back in June. So, RCR has not been very strong until this year. Wow, he almost hit the wall there. That was kind of crazy. You see Kenseth has caught Andy Houston for 6th or 5th, because I think I missed Casey Kane pitting. Oh, no, Casey Kane is out of the race. Oh, no, these Dodges are not looking. That'd be worrying if I was a Dodge. I mean, Andy Houston just kind of fell off the pace there a bit as well. You can see he's not. I mean, he just got passed by Kenseth, neumed him completely. Johnson underneath Denny Hamlin. You see Casey Atwood on pit road. Pit cycle's beginning here on lap 29. Jr. just continuously pulls away. He's out to almost a 3.5 second lead. However, he's not gonna pit. These guys battle. Kenseth is coming on real strong here towards the end of this run. He and Junior have it figured out for the long runs, as he's gonna look underneath Harvick, think better of it probably. No, he gets there, and Johnson gets there underneath Hamlin. Then it's Atwood, Biffle, Gordon. Then this pack of 5 cars, the Busch brothers, Jeff Green, Brian Vickers, and Tony Stewart, who's made up a lot of ground today. He's a strong car. Greg Biffle pitting. You see the pit cycle begins for the lead lap cars. What's good is that for Hendrick at least, what's good is that all the cars are in the top 13. Yeah, like 13. So they're all very strong cars. It's gonna help them in the championship. They can help each other out. So it'll be exciting to see what this team does as everybody pits except for Andy Houston once again. Andy Houston stays out another lap at least like he did last week. Oh, it's close enough. Oh no, he might try and go for the one stop. Let's see. Kenseth as well, he might try and go for it. They'll be coming to complete lap 32 this time by. We'll see if they stay out, if they can stretch it long enough. If they stretch it, Kenseth comes in. Houston does not. If you come in this time, that's about a 34, 35 lap run to the end, because he'll come out on lap 34 of pit road. He'll come out of pit road on lap 34. So, with 33 laps complete, when he crosses the line, I think he's pitting this time. Oh no, 33 laps seems to be the difference. Gosh, I can't speak. 33 laps seems to be the distance for Andy Houston. Oh, watch out, Reed. So he's not going to be able to make it to the end on fuel, I'm pretty sure. There's no way. Junior back out to a monstrous lead and impeccable, unbeatable speed in that car. See how far ahead he is of Kenseth, as Kenseth is second place, I believe, coming off the pit lane. He barely got in front of this pack of 5 guys right here. See Junior's cross the line, Kenseth. Oh, these guys still got to catch. Well, they already passed Houston and Jeff Green on pit lane. But now he's got the whole back straightaway basically on these guys. So we'll see what the lead is as we complete lap 34. Oops. So there's Junior crossing the line. And here comes Kenseth. Now. Four-and-a-half second lead. My goodness, Dale Jr. See Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon. There's Houston. Casey Kane is back out on track. Oops. He's 1 lap down. What? That's strange. I guess he just spent some time on pit road. I don't know. Tony Stewart has passed Jeff Burton and Kyle Busch. Brian Vickers as well. He's up in the top 10. You see Harvick making a move on Hamlin for 4th. This is becoming a three-car battle here as Johnson and Kenseth have broken away a bit. Hammond looks to get Harvick back. People have been moving Harvick all day. He's probably going to be sick and tired of that. He's been moved at least 2 or 3 times now. Hammond tried it again, but I think Harvick just said, no, sir. This is my 4th place. I'm taking it. There's nothing you can do about it. Greg Biffle sits back and watches. He's got the popcorn out, watching this fight. But now he's got to go to work. Dale Jr. has never won at Las Vegas. So this would be another track ticked off the list if he would be able to win today. Last year, the man in 6th here, Greg Biffle, was able to get it done. And he actually went on to win Atlanta the next week. And had a pretty good season after that. Garnered a total of 6 wins. Obviously here in Atlanta. And then Chicagoland, another mile and a half racetrack. Then he went on to win the Brickyard Auto Club. And then the Richmond race right before the final 10 races. So we had a pretty successful season, and it all kicked off here. Dale Jr., who again hasn't won in 38 races, looks to kick off his championship bid here in Las Vegas like Biffle had done last year. He could be using that as a bit of inspiration today. He's got the strongest car out there, but it seems they're catching him back. They've shaved down the gap to 2.5 seconds. We'll see where it is at the line for Matt Kenseth. 4/10. I was not expecting that. Then again, Junior did have to go through lap traffic, so we'll see. We'll see this lap because he's not really blocked by Travis Quapple. He should be affecting him really until now. But now we play the waiting game. We'll see who can make it on fuel. Or how far can they go and who's willing to push it as far as it can go. Gap at the line. Yeah, another half a second. Not looking good for Junior. He needs to get around Quapple because he wasn't boxed in last lap, and now he kind of is, considering how close he is to him. But Johnson and Kenseth, Harvick, Hamlin are all closing in. They're all pulling away from Greg Biffle. Gordon and Stewart and Houston, they're becoming non-factors pretty much. Kenseth at the line. Another 4/10. Junior's got to pick up the slack. We'll really see this time because neither of them will be blocked in by lap traffic. I mean, they're catching him no matter what. You can visibly see the gap closing lap by lap. So if Kenseth passes Junior here, this will be no surprise to anybody. Both of them rookies in 2000. 1 second, another 3/10. Harvick now has to pass Brent Sherman. That might allow Denny Hamlin to close up if he can get there and gets past Sherman swiftly. You see these guys battling for 9th. Houston holding on. Burton 10th. Kyle Busch 11th. Solid run for those guys. Kenseth struggling to get around Quapple, but he's still closing the gap. It's now underneath a second. You can see him right there. Go on board with Junior. on this back bumper cam presented to you by Ames. See what the gap is at the line here. Yep, yeah, Kenseth is coming, man. He's going to be there in about another 2 or 3 laps. Now what Junior has to do, he's got to, I mean, I'm sure he's saving already. That's probably why Kenseth has caught him so much and why Johnson and Harvick back there have caught him so much as well. Because he's probably saving his stuff, saving his car. And Kenseth is just pushing. He knows he probably isn't going to be able to make it on fuel to the end here, so he's trying to push as hard as he can to get the lead, get bonus points, pit, and then hopefully everybody else pits and nobody's going to pull some crazy one-stopper. As we have 19 to go when we cross the line. Yeah, Kenseth, he's there. You can see how much he closed up in the last 2 laps when we went on the bumper cam at Dale Jr. and also the onboard of Kenseth. You see Michael Waltrip and Scott Wimmer up there. Scott put that car in the top 15 at qualifying. It has not been very lucky this race, as he is 37th. Kenseth underneath Scott Wimmer. Now they set their sights on Waltrip. Junior pulling away up a little bit more. Maybe it's go time now. I'm not sure what the strategy is here. Maybe he knows he can't make it either now. Johnson and Harvick battle for 3rd. Denny Hamlin 5th. Chad Chaffin coming off pit road. Stewart has caught Gordon for 7th. And Houston is under fire from Burton and Kyle Busch for the 9th spot. These two go side by side for the 9th spot. We'll see if Houston will be able to hold them off. Burton sends it in there, last week's winner. Now he knows how to get it done on the bottom. We saw him do it a couple times last week. And he does, in fact, clear him. Burton up in the 9th. Houston 10th. Kenseth has got around Dale Jr. Kenseth now takes the lead. He's going to try and pull away here in the closing laps of this race. Put as big of a gap as he can on these guys behind him. Hopefully they get held up by Michael Waltrip and Dale Jr., I guess, even though he's not really a lap car, but maybe he's just saving his stuff real bad. So Kenseth's hoping that he'll be able to get out to a huge lead. Last week we went caution free, and as we get 15 to go, we're closing in on the same song and dance here, caution free race. Can Junior save enough fuel to try and win this race? You could tell he was pushing real bad in the first run. He got out to a 4.5 second lead. He had a great lead coming out of the pits and then saved his stuff. So he's definitely got to be trying to make it to the end. Harvick and Johnson, I'm not really sure what their strategies are. I'm pretty sure it's also push. Same with Hamlin. All the top 5 are pushing aside from Junior. They don't care about fuel. They're trying to just get to the pit cycle. See, Stewart has gotten around Jeff Gordon. Kyle Busch putting pressure on Andy Houston for a top 10 spot. I think Andy's saving too. I mean, he's probably the best on fuel out of anybody, so he might just be riding right now. See Edwards behind them and Brian Vickers here. Mears, Green, O'Quinn, all these guys, Riggs, Mike Bliss, Joe Nemechek, Mayfield, Sadler, and there's our leader, Matt Kenseth. Now Matt's doing what Dale Jr. had done as Casey King comes off pit road, making his final stop of the day. Right in front of Matt Kenseth. Matt's going to have to get around him. He's going to have to contend with him at least into the turns 3 and 4, but yeah, he clears him. He gets around him there. On the helicopter cam. 11 to go. Kane had such a promising run. I mean, back on lap 10, this would have been a battle for the lead. That's what it looks like now, but no. Kane's 2 or 3 laps down now. He had a transmission issue or something. Transmission would mean garage, so that probably isn't what happened. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try and speculate. Junior really saving now. Kevin Harvick has gotten around him. Or not around him, but has caught up to him. Johnson as well. Reeling both of them in. Denny Hamlin. There's Waltrip and Scott Wimmer. Travis Kvapil, 3 lap cars. Greg Biffle, Chad Chaffin, Tony Stewart has gotten around, or caught up to Greg Biffle. Looking to make a move on Chad Chaffin here. The Chad Chaffin. Gordon, I think, is saving his stuff as well. I mean, he could just be slow, but I don't know. It's not like Jeff Gordon to be slow. Houston has really dropped off. You see, he was 9th, and now he's pretty far back on these guys, dropping back into the clutches of Carl Edwards. Harvick has gotten around Dale Jr. Now he tries to chase down Matt Kenseth. He's got a 2-second lead currently, but this is a lot of lap traffic that could really mess him up here. That's the helicopter cam again. I didn't. Kenseth's trying to. Whoa! Whoa! Casey Kane making a move underneath Dave Blaney. Kenseth went to make a move underneath him. It looked like he blocked him. Looked really aggressive, but Casey Kane has pulled out to a pretty nice advantage over Matt Kenseth. Now he won't go 2 or 3 laps down, or however many it is now. Yeah, it won't go 3 laps down, but he's still going to have an abysmal finish. Same with Casey Atwood. Both those Dodges not having a good run. Atwood's pit stop earlier when we saw him on pit lane when the leaders passed him must have been for something else, I guess. Or he's pulling a off-sequence strategy. I'm not sure. Five to go when they come to the line this time. Normally we'd be talking about Matt Kenseth and how he's, getting ready to win, but we don't know with pit stops. Anything could happen. For all we know, there's pit stop starting now, but for all we know, oh yeah, there comes everybody. Harvick, Earnhardt, Johnson, Hamlin. Houston stayed out, naturally. Stewart, Biffle, Gordon, they're all coming in. We'll see if Andy Houston and Carl Edwards will pit. I mean, they're eventually going to, but it's more just a matter of when as they come to 4 to go. Matt Kenseth now staying out still. 4 laps to go. Here comes Atwood off the pit lane. Matt Kenseth, is he going to pit this time. Is he's going to stretch the fuel? He was pushing pretty hard. I can't imagine he'd be able to make it. Yes, here he comes. He's coming in now. This is it. Heading to 3 to go. This time by. Harvick is a lap down. Johnson is a lap down. They're trying to get back on the lead lap. I believe the next car is Casey Atwood. Carl Edwards pit. I believe Atwood will be the leader. But he's got to pit soon enough. There's no way he can make it on fuel, I'm pretty sure. Unless he saved enough fuel to make it. But he was battling with Burton and Kyle Busch for the longest time. I don't see how he could make it. Yeah, Andy Houston takes the lead with 3 to go. Greg Biffle and Jeff Burton right behind him. You see all those guys coming off pit lane. Andy Houston's got to come in this time. There's no way. No, he's not coming in. He's going to try and make it on fuel, I think. 2 to go and they come to the line. How big of a lead does he have? Could he... I mean, are these guys the next guys? I'm pretty sure they're a lap down or something. The next guy is Kurt Busch, who is 10 seconds back. This is where Kurt Busch is. He's in turn 1. Andy Houston is getting passed by Burton and Greg Biffle. He's in turn 3. He's got almost half a lap on Kurt. Is he coming in this time? No. He's not. Here he comes to the white flag. Andy Houston, I think, could probably down the backstretch almost coast from there, I'd imagine. White flag is out. Andy Houston on the insane one-stop strategy. There we go. I can speak words. Down the backstretch, he hasn't won since Talladega 2005. That's his 3rd career win off of turn 4. Andy Houston is going to get career win number 4 in a fuel mileage gamble at Las Vegas. Absolutely incredible race. Let's see who else comes. Oh, it looks like Kurt could make it on fuel. Oh no, that's heartbreaking. He had 1 lap left. So Andy Houston wins. We gotta go all the way back to find Matt Kenseth. There's Matt in 2nd. Scoring says Harvick got 3rd, Jimmy's 4th, Dale Jr. 5th, Hamlin 6th, Stewart 7th, Gordon, Burton, and Biffle round out your top 10. Kurt Busch fell to 11th. Oh man. Then Edwards, Vickers, Mears, Kyle Busch, Danny O'Quinn Jr., Truex, Jeff Green, Dale Jarrett, and Ryan Newman rounds out your top 20. Andy Houston ran out of fuel on the pit lane. Absolutely perfect strategy by those guys. Well, we thank you for tuning in to the UAW-Daimler-Chrysler 400 out here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Seems like Andy Houston was a gambling man today, and it worked out for him. He was able to win in Las Vegas. But anyways, we thank you boys and girls for watching, and we'll see you in Atlanta for the Golden Corral 500. What an exciting race. That was awesome. I forgot about that.